Now, all the gospel passages during the Easter Octave, that's the 8 days after we celebrate Easter, all of them feature these post-resurrection appearances of Jesus.
I thought this was Christmas.
That's okay. Have a seat, Robert. No worries. Good man. So the Lord, he appears to his disciples, and when he appears to them, this is the irrefutable evidence that Jesus has indeed risen. And today's gospel is one episode. So just remember the scene. The apostles, they're gathered together in the upper room. We're told that they gather in fear and trembling. They've locked themselves away from others. They're probably wondering, are we going to get what Jesus got? And then the Lord appears to them in his post-resurrection form, in bodily form, and he says to them, "Peace be with you." And this is it's a tremendous gift to the apostles. This is a great injection to their faith. And they will leave the upper room totally changed and transformed. Their fears, their worries, their questions have all been replaced by this new faith because they have seen Jesus. But there is one problem. Thomas, one of the apostles, is not there to witness all of this that's going on. And eventually, when he's told about what happens, his reaction gains him this very unflattering name, Doubting Thomas. And in lots of ways, I love Thomas, because he is the one who says what everybody's thinking, and he maybe speaks before he thinks. And he says, when he's told about what happens, he says, no. Unless I can touch the wounds, I refuse to believe. He says, words, the testimony of others, is not enough for me. I need more. And then 8 days later, he gets more. When the Lord appears again, he picks out Thomas from all of the others. He picks out Thomas and says, "Come here. Touch my pierced hands. Put your hand into my side." And in that moment, for Doubting Thomas, his doubt crumbles. And he professes his faith. He says, "My Lord and my God." What does Thomas teach us? His example teaches us that in our faith, we have to get up close and personal with Jesus. Our faith, it has to be something that's experienced, something that is real and tangible. Words are insufficient. The testimony of others, in fact, can be insufficient. We have to touch Jesus. And this is precisely why the Lord himself left us the gift of the sacraments. This is why we come to church on a Sunday. This is why we have all this ritual and the devotional practices of our faith. Especially, it's why the Lord left us the Eucharist. This is a means for us in our daily lives to reach out and to touch Jesus. Thomas teaches us we cannot deeply love Jesus. We cannot have a profound faith in him from a distance. We have to be close to him. And sometimes when people say to me, as happens often, people say, I'm really struggling in my faith. The first thing I say, first thing I ask, I say, when was the last time you went to Mass? When was the last time you came up to the altar and received Holy Communion? And very often you find it was a long, long time ago. And in lots of ways, no wonder faith gets weak when we don't do that. If we haven't touched Jesus, if we haven't encountered Jesus in a real way. No wonder. No wonder we have doubts. We have to be a people who go out and to meet Jesus, to actually meet him. And this is something that Pope Benedict actually spoke about very often. This is what he said a number of years ago. He said, many people perceive Christianity as something institutional rather than an encounter, a personal encounter with Christ, which explains why they don't see it as a source of joy. So our faith, it has to be rooted in an encounter, a meeting, a touching of the living person of Jesus. And it's the very same with Divine Mercy. Today is Divine Mercy Sunday. We can't be a people who just speak about mercy and love and compassion and the forgiveness of God that flows from his open heart. We have to actually experience it. We have to have felt its impact deeply on our lives. We have to have been touched and transformed by the mercy and forgiveness of Jesus. Otherwise, it's just words, and words are very limited. So in our own lives, we can't just talk about forgiving other people, people who've hurt us, people who've disappointed us. We have to get close enough to them that they feel, that they experience, that they touch the forgiveness that we are offering them. So today, let's remember Thomas, whose weak faith was made strong when he reached out and touched the risen Lord. And let's always remember that our faith will be made strong in that personal encounter with Jesus. Amen.